I believe that the picture is, of course, tilting a lot more bearish than it is tilting bullish. If we fall past 30,000, what is the level that you see on the chart?
12,000, and this is what baffles me, right?
Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Sean and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango. And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Polkadot analysis video. I have Sean with me today. Sean, say hi.
Good morning, everyone, and a happy Monday to all of you. I hope you guys have a great week ahead of you.
Yes, sirree. Sean, we closed a weekly as well as a bi-weekly candle today, which we will be talking about. Okay, some interesting things have unfolded. But in addition to that, we will also be talking about the hash rate drama. There's just so much talk about this, so it's only right that we cover what's happening with this and what we think about the drama here. But on today's agenda, guys, we'll first be starting off with the charts, of course, Bitcoin first, and only then will we be moving on over to Polkadot. And why Polkadot? Because believe it or not, Polkadot won the popular vote. Okay, it was a very, very close call, of course, between Cardano and Polkadot. Cardano is always up there. It's always up there. I love it. But also, I wanted to give a very, very big shout out to Stan. Stan had a beautiful comment that we pinned. He says, "Thank you guys for such great work. This analysis is a must rewatch. Few times for me. Thanks for your unbiased view. I recently unsubscribed from 99% of crypto channels just because they're moon calls and buys with hopium for big moves. While you're teaching that money can be made in any market state and price direction, exactly. It can. I totally see this now. Unfortunately, cannot use it to my profit yet, but at least start to control my losses. Thanks to Mango Risk Management." And this is why Sean and I, we keep on saying the same thing. It's that risk management. Risk management is 80% of the game here.
I love the drive, the determination, and the initiative Stan has, because even though he, like many other people, got hurt during the pullback, right, that the entire crypto market took, he didn't have the attitude that people have. It's like, you know what, I'm just going to step away and come back when there's a bull run. He's like, no, I'm going to use this opportunity to learn, and he's taken initiative, right? We have a new section in the Mango C program now called Mango Sprouts, and that's essentially because of him, Samson, Andrew, big shout out, and Vish. Those guys came together and essentially have now created a new dynamic within the C program, and I love it, right? This leadership, this initiative by the members. So massive shout out to you, Stan. I'm really enjoying seeing you be so driven, and love it, buddy.
Really good stuff, guys. Now, don't forget, if you want us to cover any altcoin that you are looking at, make sure to go ahead, pause the video, pause it right now. We're not running away. Get onto the comment section and tell us which altcoin you want us to cover. Okay, the popular vote wins. And when you're scrolling back up, you're going to see that little thumbs up and that little subscribe button there. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And hey, if you like this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up as well, because that helps us know whether or not you guys like this content. Alrighty. Now, Sean, do you want to start off with the charts first, or you want to start off with the hash rate news?
We can start off with the hash rate news.
Alrighty. So now let's get in. Sean, total hash rate drops by 50%. Now, some people are leaning bullish, like people are looking at this as a positive thing, while others are looking at this as a negative thing. Now, because, well, you are more fundamentally inclined into, how all these things work. In fact, Mango first started off as a fundamental portal. What are your thoughts on this, Sean? What do you think? Is this positive? Is this negative? How do we look at this?
So there are definitely two sides to the coin over here. You could have a negative narrative to this as well as a positive narrative. Now, whichever side you pick, it's really important to understand why you're picking that side as opposed to simply blindly following the bandwagon or following the narrative, right? So let's go ahead and just understand why this happened. Why did the hash rate drop? Now, people might be aware there was a massive Bitcoin ban on China. Most specifically, there was a ban on Bitcoin mining within China, right? Now, all of this happened really, really quickly, and miners had to pretty much shut down their operations within China. So that's one part of the story right over there. That hash rate dropped 50% now because essentially 80% of the miners from China had to shut down their mining operations.
Right.
Now, over there in itself, there is a bullish narrative to this, right? Where, hey, this is good for Bitcoin. Why? Because one of the negative narratives on Bitcoin is now kind of squashed, where people have been, I get a lot of these questions. Sean, what are your thoughts on Bitcoin mining being centralized in China? Right. And we talked about how we always used to say that this is not going to last in the long term because of how the free markets within the Bitcoin market works. Right. And we're seeing an example of this play out right now. Well, that no longer is a concern because 80% of Bitcoin mining in China, at the very least, thus far, it's likely going to increase, is gone. Right.
Right.
So now, that has caused the hash rate to drop, right? Because they've all shut down their mining operations. It caused the hash rate to drop down by 50%. What does this mean? What are the consequences of this? Well, the hash rate, guys, determines the network difficulty, okay? Based on the hash rate going up or the hash rate going down, the network difficulty will either go up or go down. Over here, we're seeing the network difficulty come down, right? And I believe the next difficulty adjustment is around 9 days. Well, what does that mean? What does the network difficulty even mean? Why is it important? Well, the network difficulty determines how difficult it is to mine Bitcoin. So the more difficult it is to mine Bitcoin, the more expensive it is to mine Bitcoin.
Right.
But well, now the difficulty has dropped, right? Hash rate has dropped, which has caused the difficulty to drop, which means it's going to be cheaper to mine Bitcoin. What does this mean? It means that it gives opportunity to new market entrants to enter the Bitcoin mining space around the world, right? We're already seeing new firms pop up around the world. I believe in the States, we have a new firm that has already increased their mining from 0% to 7% of the total network hash rate. So we're going to see more of this happen over the long term. So again, these things take time to play out though, Krisha, right? We're going to see new mining firms pop up around the world, and hash rate is going to start eventually going higher and higher and higher. But again, this is more of a long-term perspective.
Right.
So in the long term, we have two narratives going on over here for Bitcoin. China centralization narrative is squashed. That's bullish, right? By the elimination of a negative narrative, right? We have a bullish implication over there. And now because hash rate has dropped, well, it gives more opportunity, right? So new mining firms can start being profitable around the world and start their operations, and profitability leads to efficiency, etc. Okay,
Right.
so it leads to a more decentralized network in the long term. That's the bullish narrative right over here for the long term. But there is a negative implication on that point of efficiency that I just mentioned over here with what's going on right now, because price at the end of the day, guys, matters. Okay, the price matters. I just mentioned efficiency. Efficiency matters because if you are a mining firm and you are operating with high costs and you're relying on Bitcoin being at a high price, well, as soon as Bitcoin drops from, let's say, 55,000 down to 30,000, you may now start being unprofitable,
Right.
forcing you to shut down operations, forcing you to capitulate, forcing you to sell your Bitcoin. That's the negative narrative for the short term, right? It will cause inefficient miners to sell their Bitcoin, right? Causing the hash rate to go down even further, right?
Oh.
Which in the long term will cause even more new entrants to come in and be in the long term bullish for Bitcoin.
Okay.
Causing it to be more decentralized, apologies. So yeah, with that, guys, there are two sides to the narrative, right? But understand that is a lot more nuanced than people make it out to seem. And you guys need to be critical thinkers. You guys need to be Mango and think for yourself.
Boom. All right, golden nuggets. Take note. Now, let's get into price action, right? Because now we want to see how is this all really going to unfold. Sean, in yesterday's video, you brought up a level that you were looking at for the daily close. Allow me to just clear this chart out. There we go. I think I believe you had posted something on the Mango seed chat.
Yes.
Right? You had your levels there. So just to keep this very brief, allow me to just pull that up. Okay, there we are. Now this was these were the levels that Sean posted in the Mango seed chat.
Yeah.
Now you had a zone of support marked out at 33,000, going down to 31,529. Right? You were looking for price to close over where?
So essentially, I said that this is the zone of support that most people are probably looking at, and it is completely valid, right? Because I marked it out as well. But personally, I was looking for the weekly and the daily close to close above this level right over here. I said it won't be enough to simply close above this level that I marked out, this box over here, right? I said, yeah, it's fine if Bitcoin does it, but personally for me, it would not be enough. I'd be looking for the bulls to mark out, to defend these levels, these candle closes right over here.
Alrighty, then let's get into the chart and see where we closed relative to that level, right? Sean got up very, very excited today, saying that, Krisha, we closed above. I'm like, all right, if you say so. So this was the level right here, right, Sean? So I believe it was, so you're looking at these candle body closes?
Those guys out there.
All right, so you can see it right here. I'm going to mark it with this line. I'm going to get rid of this one just for now. And it appears that one came in at 34,594. It's just a rough estimate. We did close well above, right? So I have a question for you. Why were you looking at, so I personally was looking at this region right here because that was the critical sort of closes that we had. This was back on June 8th, which came in at 33,282. Why did you not give that enough precedence than, well, these guys right here, right?
Well, it's not that okay, don't get me wrong. It's not that I completely dismiss this level, right? And to be honest, you can see that we've come and wicked off that level almost perfectly. It's just that, especially if you guys are in the C program and have watched the order flow liquidity module, right? You guys will understand this a little bit better. But let's say that we were looking at this as essentially a hunt, right? We had that breakdown over here. Okay, we saw initial follow through, but no follow through whatsoever. It just ended up being a liquidity trap that got bought back very, very quickly and pushed us back to the top of the range. Right? So that's one angle to be looking at that as, hey, you know what? Yes, we have these candle closes that are important, but at the end of the day, they did not cause any further downside action. Right? And it just ended up being an opportunity for the bulls to actually reaccumulate their position before sending price up before they could sell at the top of the range at the very least. Again, right? Now, that's one angle that you need to be keeping an eye out. Hey, all of this over here, let's say we disregard it. Okay, let me clear out everything actually. Okay, let's say we disregard all of this and we simply treat this as what we can do, guys, is double click this, turn the background to black. Essentially now you have a perfect range over here that's a lot neater, right? Essentially we're disregarding that price action. So if you disregard that price action as a bull, you'd want the other candle closes, all of these candle closes, to have more precedence. Okay, you'd want them to get defended. Now, defending those is good. Yes, you'd expect some support over there, but would that give me confidence as a bull, right? That, hey, you know what? That the range, the important levels are being defended, and I'm likely going to err on the side of accumulation versus distribution. No, I'm not going to feel that confident anymore if we had lost this level and closed underneath it, right? So that was one angle. The other angle was essentially, if we go ahead, let me go ahead and remove all these drawings here, and we mark out the vertical line on these candle closes over here, right? You're going to see that on the weekly time frame, that was the lowest weekly candle close we've gotten in this range over here. So I was essentially looking for those daily levels to be holding, as well as the lowest weekly candle close within this accumulation range to hold on that daily close. So it was a multifaceted close that was really, really important. We were getting a bi-weekly close, a daily close, of course, and a weekly close.
So now that we're on the weekly chart, let's go and see how we closed relative to some of the levels that we were looking at, right? So this was a very, very critical one. Clearly, Sean has it marked out. It's got confluence on the weekly time frame as well, right? We have these can closes marked right here. We closed over it. So that's good. So price relative to that horizontal closed well. How about price relative to the Ichimoku cloud? Now, I told you guys yesterday that I was going to be looking at the Kijun. Allow me to just get rid of this vertical line right here. Okay, so this is what I was looking at. I was telling you guys that I'll be looking at how price performs off of that Kijun. Now, as you can see here, if I just go ahead, place a line right there, that marks the Kijun. Price did close under. Okay, so I'm not liking... So price relative to the cloud levels have just been a complete completely, a miss.
Yeah.
We've also been held down by the 10 SMA, I believe, right? 10 SMA, 21 EMA, by the way, is about to get that bearish cross. So that is also something to keep your eyes peeled on right now. I'll be honest with you, Sean, overall, I believe that the picture is, of course, tilting a lot more bearish than it is tilting bullish. This could drop even further. But question is where to. If this actually falls from here, if we start losing that level that Sean marked out for you guys earlier, I believe that, well, the first region of contention is first going to come in here at around that $30,000 region. This one we have already spoken about in the past, in some of our past videos. But if we fall past 30,000, now zoom out of the chart, clear out the cloud, where would be the next plausible one? What is the level that you see on the chart?
12,000, and this is what baffles me, right? Why is I don't, maybe I'm just not keeping up to date with the narratives in the space, but nobody has asked me about this potential head and shoulders over here, and it is something that where's the brush? Why is this not being brought up? And Krisha, I'm not a pattern expert. You're the pattern queen.
I don't think this is the head and shoulders, I'll be honest.
The narrative, as the psychology is over here, we have a push towards the upside. Bulls, the bears tried to push it back down. The bulls came in strong. They pushed it higher. Well, the bears stepped in again. The bulls tried again. Thus far, right, if the bulls don't push it back up and it breaks down, it does have the psychology of a failed continuation. Because look at this upthrust here, right? The next level of support does come in around 25,000 and 19,000, yes, but this was a volatile region. If we see a cascade move, right, if there's some major huge market event that affects all markets, another liquidity event kind of like this, right, we could see a massive move down. And keep that idea at the back of your minds, guys, so that way you're ready to take advantage. Because if we have a huge move like that, even some cash on the sidelines is going to be really, really useful to have. So don't negate those possibilities. Remember, I'm still a Bitcoin bull, but at the end of the day, look at every possibility. Okay, it allows you to hedge.
Yes. Okay. I agree there. I know it gets sort of scary for some people. I know that Sean, you're looking, if this actually gets volatile to the downside, you're looking at that 12K region. Again,
it's not until we break that zone that.
Of course, guys, it's always going to be an if this then that. All right. Yeah. Nothing is like solid until we start taking out certain regions. Anyone telling you that price is going to go down here for sure, there is no certainty in any of this. Okay, all we can do is play the information that we have on our chart right now, and this is the information that we have. We have regions of support underneath us that we are still respecting. It is only if we start breaking those regions, only then will we see further technical weakness. All right, bear that in mind. But if we start falling from here, 30K region, then I'm saying the next region of support, I'm not looking at 12K immediately. If the volatility has to pick in, then 18,900 is going to be the next major region as far as horizontals are concerned. Now, this was the weekly close, Sean. How about the bi-weekly? Let's get on over to the bi-weekly close. Let's also go ahead, pull up our Ichimoku cloud, zoom into that beautiful price action. And where do we close? We closed. This is still very much in its beautiful Ichimoku sandwich.
We've done nothing. This month has literally gone sideways.
Yeah.
If you look at the past two weeks, which is essentially a month, right, of price action, 28 days. Well, we've done nothing. Gone sideways.
Yeah. Okay, and guys, the bi-weekly too hasn't really done much. We managed to defend the Kijun. We're still very much in that very, very narrow range of price action, going in from the Kijun to that 21 EMA, which is only a good 4%. Yeah. Okay, only 4%. For the kind of volatility we see on Bitcoin's chart, it is not much. So Bitcoin, we believe at the very least right now, it is still very much in its range. Yes, it could fall further, but that is going to be contingent on Bitcoin actually taking out certain regions of support underneath us. All right, the critical one that Sean is looking at right now is coming in at this region right here, which comes in at where? 34,200. Right? We just spoke about this when we pulled up the chart, as well as I will be looking at that 30K region, essentially marking out the wick lows on this chart. Okay, we start taking out the range. I'm saying further down we go. The next major region of contention comes in at around 19,000. $100,000 if you are just looking at the horizontals. Sean, anything to add here? Do you have any upside targets? How about you give them upside targets now that they have our downside targets?
Again, I still believe that we are within the range. I am looking at the 4-day dynamic, as you guys know. 4-day dynamic is something that you guys should be keeping an eye on. I'm looking for this to close above the region. We have the close in 18 hours and 28 minutes. So I'll be looking for this to close above, I believe it's sitting at 34,699. So if we do break underneath there, I'm not going to like the look of this at all. I'll be looking for our next level immediate target at around 30,000-ish to be tested. And if we lose that flat line, I'll be looking for further downside after that, right? Regardless of us holding this level or not. Of course, if we do see, there's a possibility we do see a bounce over here, but that's, again, I'm talking about downside. Kusha wants upside targets. Up towards the upside, we need to break the 4-day range, okay? That's the first thing we need to do before I look for upside on Bitcoin's next trend. The next thing I'll be looking at is us taking back the 2-week dynamic region over here. As you can see, we've been respecting it as resistance for the past month now. Rejection, and the next time we come up over here, I'll be looking for, at the very least, a nice full green bodied candle. All right, so coming up here, still expecting resistance, but I'm looking for a nice candle that's filled, not like this one, a candle that's filled up, right? So I want all of those things to start being put in place. So first, 4-day to take back the dynamic, 2-week to start having that the nice green bodied candle that would give the bulls some more confidence. And yeah, at the end of the day, guys, remember that we could still have one more push towards the downside. I know I kind of scared some of you guys by talking about 12K. I want that number to be at the back of your mind so you guys don't get too over leveraged with your buys on these dips, right? I'm seeing people try to call bottoms here.
Yeah,
there's no reason to do that, right? There's no reason to do that. You're just going to get stopped, and then you're going to lose confidence in yourself, and you're going to get cut out of the market just before the next trend does start. We don't know whether the bottom starts from here or if it starts from here. All we know that in the long run, Bitcoin will be putting in a higher low and eventually go towards the upside. I'm still betting on that. Remember, the monthly, let's go back to our monthly. In fact, we can look at the dynamic for that too and pull up the Ichimoku. I'm still looking at this as a possible higher low, but we don't know that until we confirm this month and then take out this high. There's too much time, guys. Remember, patience will be rewarded. And if you're patient, well, maybe the high low comes in over here, or maybe it's over here. We just don't know yet. We will know in time, and when it's time, we will add with confidence. Do you guys remember how we waited very, very patiently during this period over here? And when we add in confidence over here, while everybody else was already chopped up out of the market, well, we got rewarded with this, right? Now, again, it's a similar period. We don't know how long this is going to last, but patience will be rewarded. And when the trade triggers, Mango will be there.
Boom. Alrighty, now with that said, I believe we should be getting on over to Polkadot. Right. We do have DOT to cover. Now, guys, remember, if you guys want us to cover any of the altcoins that you are looking at, make sure to go ahead into the comments section and tell us which altcoin you want us to cover. Alrighty, and when you're scrolling back up and you're enjoying the content so far, do not forget to hit those likes. That helps us gauge whether or not, well, you actually like the video. That's our only metric here. Alright, so this is DOT on the monthly. There's not much here. It's looking blah. Okay, so DOT on the weekly is also looking pretty blah, but let's go ahead and put on our Ichimoku.
There's not enough price action.
There's not enough price action even on the weekly for that matter. How about let's because I the way I sort of play these charts, even if it is a brand new coin, I'll sort of go up to the time frame that gives me the most macro sort of price action. You know, so I'll kind of base it based on when it hit the charts. So 2-day sounds 2-day seems pretty alrighty. It's looking weak.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
It's looking weak at the very least. I would have expected.
That looks like a bear flag breakdown.
Yeah, that's a bear flag break.
But that's the 2-day, so
you know that
maybe we can make excuses.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's not just a.
This is not a good picture.
Right, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing weakness on Bitcoin's chart that is also cascading onto the altcoins, and this is bound to happen. right? Now, some of these altcoins, now you can see that DOT, I've drawn out a descending triangle here, and that on a technical standpoint is a bearish pattern. Okay, we have a break. We've closed underneath the thing. As soon as we get confirmation underneath the neckline, which comes in at $20.37, I'm saying further down we go. To where, though? Let's go ahead and put in a measured move for this descending triangle, shall we? And that will take Polkadot all the way down to $9.88.
$10 mark. So, yeah.
And that lines up.
Yep.
Right? We got candle body closes as well as wicks off of this region. There is historic price action to support that measured move. And this is only the descending triangle. We have not taken the pole of the bear flag. Okay. And I like doing it that way.
Yep.
I think we take it one target at a time and see whether or not the bulls manage to pick it up with some sort of strength. But so far, I believe that USDT is bearish.
It's broken the triangle, should make that move, right? Or is Bitcoin going to determine that? We do have support over here, guys, that we can't ignore, because this was a bull flag zone, accumulation zone that broke towards the upside. It is a order block. Probably seeing a lot of volume over here as well on the volume nodes.
Good
but
catch.
we need to take out that level before we could look towards that level. But yes, if we see a complete playthrough of this formation, of this trend continuation, and that is going to be reliant on Bitcoin holding, right? Or rather Bitcoin giving away. So if Bitcoin gives away, then we're going to see a potential move all the way down to $10. But Bitcoin holds, I'll be looking for this order block to be holding DOT up for now at the very least.
Yeah. That's actually a really, really good catch on the $18.15 region.
So I want to look at the daily just to get my...
Yeah, it's weak.
Yeah.
It's weak. Like, look at the way we're being held down by the 21 EMA.
Again, I think this reminds me a lot of what was the coin that we covered very recently? It was underneath Chainlink's weekly. Yeah. So how about this, guys? As long as it's holding the weekly in this zone over here, right? It's the order block, right, Kusha? Essentially, we're marking out the order block as well as we gotta reset that, but you guys understand what I mean. As long as we're holding this on the weekly, Chainlink, or rather DOT, could see accumulation across the zone over here before further upside. But if we do lose this on the weekly, then we can look at Kusha's targets of around $10, right? I like this picture a lot better. It's cleaner. It's cleaner to look at because there's less noise. The 2-day has noise. The daily has noise as well. The weekly does not have noise. You have your downside support over here. You have your upside resistance coming in at the 10 SMA as well as 21 EMA, and then you have your 10 kin as your final add to your trigger trade if you are looking for that. Of course, let me go ahead and there's the drawing. So essentially your first trigger would be here, or get ready at the very least, and here's where you take your bull trade, and then you have resistance at these levels over here, these candle closes, and then trend continuation above those candle closes. So this zone over here is going to be the final frontier for DOT to take out before we see an upside target for perhaps all the way to $75, $100, but there's a lot to be done before that.
Yeah, I agree. But I also agree with the fact that the weekly is actually giving you guys a better picture. So look at the levels that Sean just drew out for you. The support that you're looking at underneath us right now comes in at $17 and $18. Let's just round up to $18, going down to $15.75. That is your zone of support, and we are very, very close to that region. It's only once we break that zone, only then will $10 really be a plausible region of support that we look at. Okay, but so far, I think that the bears have the edge here. Okay, but yes, the bulls can come in to pick it up at the region of support, so that is what you keep your eyes peeled on. Target to the upside is $26.41. Alrighty. Now, yeah, this is all we have for you for today. Sean, any final thoughts?
Nope. I do have actually a lot of thoughts. It's just that we don't have enough time. I did want to talk about, you don't have the US 30-year up, Kusha. Do you have them?
I have the 10-year and the 5-year.
Okay, so guys, tomorrow we will be talking about this. We are seeing just a massive
meltdown.
Yeah, meltdown on the yields on the 30-year US Treasury. So this is really, really interesting. And yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow's video, because this is making me, well. We'll talk about this tomorrow, though.
With this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao.